Congratulations! Starting a new club on campus is a relatively easy process and can take as little as 2 weeks or as long as a semester, depending on how much time you have put into the process. You will work primarily with the coordinator of clubs and organizations, which is a position elected annually through Student Senate. The new club process is made up of 6 main steps, each of which I will go over throughout this video. Step 1. Reaching out to the coordinator of clubs and organizations. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you've already found the coordinator of clubs and organizations and have completed step 1. After you watch this video, please feel free to reach out to the coordinator with any additional questions that you have. They are a resource and your advocate throughout this process. You can contact them via email at senateaffairs@hartwick.edu. Step 2 is holding an interest meeting. The most important thing to do to ensure the success of your club or organization is to make sure that you have the interest of the students. Clubs that last have a strong foundation and have spent a lot of time developing their goals and student interest. To officially form as a club, you need to have a full executive board, which is composed of a president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary, as well as an advisor. The members of the executive board must be full-time students who are not on academic leave. A student who is studying abroad cannot serve as an executive board member while they are abroad. Also, please keep in mind what year your executive board members are. If everyone is a senior, it is very important to consider how you plan on building leadership so that the club will last after you've graduated. An advisor can be any Hartwick faculty or staff member. An advisor cannot be an Aramark employee or contracted employee. They will receive advisor training from campus activities upon accepting their role. If they have questions about their role as an advisor, you may have them reach out to the director of campus activities. The best way to garner interest in your club is with these interest meetings. Here, you can build your executive board, brainstorm goals of the club, as well as determine who you would like to serve as your club advisor. Step 3. Fill out a club proposal on HeartLink. After this interest meeting, or a couple of meetings, have been held, it's time to fill out the club proposal. This is a form on HeartLink that you can access through heartlink.hartwick.edu under Student Senate's page on their Forms tab. This club proposal tells the coordinator of clubs and organizations that you've thought through who is on the executive board, who is the advisor, what the short-term and long-term goals of the club are, and what the interest level is. Do not fill out this form until you have at least 10 people actively interested in the club, have had an interest meeting, and have a full executive board. When the coordinator receives this form, they will reach out to you and touch base about the last 3 steps in the new club process. Step 4 is creating a constitution. The 4th step, which can be done simultaneously with the club proposal, is to create your club's constitution. This is your club's governing document, so it is very important to be explicit about how your club will run meetings, elections, etc. The coordinator of clubs or organizations will provide you with a sample constitution which has some mandatory language and sections in it that all clubs must include. When making your constitution, think carefully about how you want to define an active member. How many meetings does a student have to attend to be considered active? Do active members have voting rights that other members might not? What are the qualifications for being on the executive board of the club? What is the process for removing a member versus removing an executive board member? What do you see the role of your club's advisor being? All of these, plus others, are important questions that you need to answer within this constitution. When you have completed a draft of the constitution, you will send it to the coordinator of clubs and organizations who may edit it along with either their vice chair or members of the committee. This is the part that can sometimes take a while, and you may edit a couple versions of the Constitution before it's ready to be presented. If you have any questions or are unsure about the Constitution, please work with the coordinator of clubs or organizations. They can help provide you with examples of how other successful clubs have written their constitutions. Step 5. Meet with the clubs and organizations committee. When the Constitution and club proposal are finalized, It's time to present your work to the Clubs and Organizations Committee. The coordinator of clubs or organizations will give the committee copies of both the proposal and the Constitution. They will have read through all of these documents prior to the meeting and will come with questions for you. Be prepared to answer questions like the following. What is this club adding to Hartwick's campus? How do you plan on building leadership within your club? How many active members do you have? What types of events will you put on? Will you do fundraising? How much do you think you'll request for a budget? These questions are just sample questions. You may get asked other ones as well. As the committee meeting, you will have the first opportunity to describe your club and why you created it before you are asked questions. Once questions have concluded, you will be asked to step out of the room, and the committee members will discuss amongst themselves. When they have gone through everything, the coordinator will call for a vote. If the committee votes to have you present at Senate, you will move on to the final step of the new club process. If they do not pass you, you will need to discuss with the coordinator what your options are. If the committee does not choose to pass the club and has no revisions for you, the new club process will stop here. This is a very rare outcome, and if it is likely to go this way for your club, the coordinator of clubs has probably already warned you that this might happen. However, please note that if the Clubs and Organizations Committee does turn you down, you do still have the right to make your presentation to the Senate Assembly. However, the senators will know that the committee did not pass the club. They will hear from the committee why they did not pass the club, and once the full Senate Assembly votes, the decision is final. The final step is to present to the Senate Assembly. Once you have made it through committee, you will be invited to present to the entire Senate Assembly. This presentation will be extremely similar to the one to the committee, and you will receive a lot of the same questions. Once you have made the presentation and all the questions have been addressed, you will once again be asked to step out of the room for the Senate Assembly to discuss and vote. Once a vote has been held, the coordinator of clubs and organizations will come get you and tell you the decision. If you have been passed, the coordinator will arrange a time with you to do a club officer training and for you to meet with the treasurer about the budget. If the Senate has chosen to not pass your club, the coordinator will set up a time to meet with you to discuss this decision and potential next steps. This officially concludes the video on the new club process. I hope you have found it informative and useful as you begin to create your club. Good luck, and please do not hesitate to reach out to the coordinator of clubs and organizations or the staff and campus activities with any additional questions that you may have.